people, welcome to another episode of Grand Football TV. How are we doing? If this is your first time joining us, you are welcome. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so it helps the algorithm. We're heading for 500 subscribers. We're still on the road to 500. So please help a brother. Yes? Okay, you are welcome. And yes, we are looking at the Premier League predictions. We are in game week 24. Game week 24. And as is custom here, we always look at game week 23, see how all of us who are part of the panel have done, and then we move on to game week 24. Okay, West Ham versus Sunderland. West Ham, Sunderland. You know, West Ham winning that one. And no one got the correct score of 3-1. No one got that correct score. Burnley versus Tottenham. Burnley gave a good, account of themselves by drawing that game against Tottenham. Although Tottenham have been very poor lately, but they normally win games away from home. And if you remember my prediction, I went for an away win. But the final score was 2-2. Yeah, and well done to Kiki, who got that correct score of 2-2. Fulham versus Brighton. Fulham winning that one 2-1 against Brighton. And I remember Chukwueze and someone else getting a goal in that game. Yep. Was it Wilson? Yeah, I think it was Wilson now. Yeah. They won 2-1 anyway. And well done to yours truly. I got it right. And Temizak, Chris, and Temitayo. Well done to all of us who got that correct score for that game. Manchester City versus Wolves. Man City Wolves. Man City winning that one comfortably 2-0. No problems whatsoever. And well done to Temizak and Temitayo. They were the two guys who predicted 2-0 in that game. So well done to them. Bournemouth versus Liverpool. Bournemouth, Liverpool. Liverpool losing this one. And, the way Liverpool have been going lately, they win one, they lose one, or they just don't play really well, and you have nothing to say about them. Because, look, they lost this one, but they won their Champions League game 6-0. So, you're not sure what's going to come next in their next game. We'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, they lost this one 3-2, and as you would expect, no one predicted that scoreline of 3-2 to Bournemouth. But a good win for Bournemouth. Brentford versus Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest going away from home and getting a result. And it's quite interesting because I thought Brentford would definitely have something for Nottingham Forest. But they lost the game and no one predicted Nottingham Forest to get the win. No one predicted Nottingham Forest to get the win, but they did. Yeah. Crystal Palace versus Chelsea. Crystal Palace, Chelsea. Chelsea capitalizing on Crystal Palace's lapses at the moment. Obviously, the in-house crisis. The manager obviously has announced he's going, so he might not be putting in his best for every game now. And the players, they're dropping one by one. Gehi's gone. Mateta is on the brink. He'll probably go before the end of this transfer window, but it's not a great place at the minute. So the team morale is definitely down. So they're losing games, and they lost this one 3-1 to Chelsea. And again, yours truly got that correct. And well done to me and Okay, and Michael. All three of us got that scoreline of 3-1 to Chelsea. Yeah. Aston Villa, no, Newcastle versus Aston Villa, not Aston Villa versus Newcastle are the home team. Newcastle versus Aston Villa. And Aston Villa ran away with that one, getting a 2-0 win away from home. And Newcastle will not be happy with that. No one predicted that scoreline. No one predicted that scoreline. No one predicted. I mean, they gave a good account of themselves in midweek in the Champions League. They needed to play well against a good PSG side. Well, the current champions of the Champions League. And they drew their 1-1. So they would leave there holding their heads high that they gave a good account of themselves. I mean, they didn't make the top 8, but they stay in contention. They play the playoffs and hopefully carry on from there. Yeah. And the shock of the weekend. Arsenal versus Manchester United. Arsenal versus Manchester United. What can I say about this game? Arsenal were well and truly beaten. We're not going to go into all them drama. Man United played well and they got the result. They won. Well done to them. But hope you can keep it up for the rest of the season. Yeah, don't go and lose to Fulham or any other team that's below you. Yeah, otherwise we'll be here. We'll be here waiting to laugh. Yeah. Anyway, no one predicted the correct score, but well done to obviously the Man United fans in the group. Okay, Dion and Temizak, they were the only ones who predicted a win. So well done to them. They predicted the outcome, but not the correct score. Well done to them. Everton versus Leeds. Everton Leeds. This one ended up in a draw. Both teams playing out a 1-1 draw. And well done to Yema. Yema was the only person who got the 1-1 scoreline correct. So well done to him. Yeah. So that brings us to the end of Game Week 23. And this is how the table sits after Game Week 23. Temizak still at the top with 525 points. Dion in second with 490 points. And Osita in third with 472 points. And you see where all the others are. You can see right at the bottom, the third from bottom, Temi Tayo with 414, Yema with 397, and King T with 387. Yeah, so I probably need to explain again how we come about the points every week. So if you get the correct score, you get 5 points. If you get the correct outcome, you get 3 points. If you get one of the teams, say you picked Man United to win 3-2 and Man United lost 4-3, because you've put 3 goals for Man United, you get 1 point. And it serves for either team, even if the outcome wasn't correct. So we go with the goals and you get a point for that. And any other scoreline, you get 0, as always. Yep. Okay. Game week 24. The games are coming thick and fast. They're coming down. Very soon we'll be talking about game week 38. Yeah, game week 24. So let's look at that quickly. Brighton versus Everton. Brighton and Everton. Well, Everton drew their last game. Brighton lost their last game. So I think this game, Brighton would want to make a statement, would want to, right the wrong from the last game, the things that they didn't do right in that game. Everton, I'm not sure if they've done enough to get anything from this game, from their last game, So I'm going to go for Brighton to beat Everton 3-1. Brighton to beat Everton 3-1. Leeds versus Arsenal. Now, this is not supposed to be a big game, but it is for Arsenal based on their last 3 games where they've dropped points, 2 points out of 9. So now this game, they need to try and get a win away from home at Leeds. But Leeds are not just going to lie down and let you beat them. So because they've been in good form themselves, it's going to be a tricky game. But I'm going to still go for Arsenal to get the win. Arsenal to win away from home 2-1. Wolves versus Bournemouth. Bournemouth to be buzzing from that win against Liverpool. But I see this one as a difficult game because Wolves are on the up. You know, they've been playing really well, albeit they played City and they lost 2-0, yeah. But before that, they've been playing really well. So I'm sure they would want to, win this one, especially being at home, making sure that they keep this momentum of, not dropping too many points going. Yeah. So I'm going to go for a draw in this one. I'm going to sit on the fence. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. A 1-1 draw. Because I know Bournemouth are a good side, but I think Wolves will want to try and win the game. Chelsea versus West Ham. Chelsea are on the up as well, playing really well lately. Good results in the Champions League as well to make the top 8. So they will be buzzing, and I'm sure they would want to give their fans something to cheer about at home, and I see them winning this one. West Ham, they're still fighting relegation, but they've been playing well as well lately, but this might be a bit too tricky for them. They will try, but I still see them losing just by a single goal. So I'm going for Chelsea to beat West Ham 2-1. Chelsea to beat West Ham 2-1. Liverpool versus Newcastle. Remember the previous fixture, Liverpool won 3-2 at Newcastle, and I see that happening again. But this time Newcastle will put up a better fight and almost snatch it. But I see Liverpool just being that, having that little edge against Newcastle and getting the win that they need. So I see Liverpool beating Newcastle 3-2. 3-2. Aston Villa versus Brentford. Aston Villa, good game against Newcastle in their previous game. I think they lost in the Europa League, but obviously they had qualified already, so that wouldn't have mattered. But they'll be looking at the guys at the top now, Man City and Arsenal, and looking at them and saying, guys, we can do something here if we just keep winning our games. So I think that's what they will stick to, trying to win all their games and hope for the best amongst the guys on top of them. So I'm going to go for Aston Villa to beat Brentford. Brentford 2-1. Yeah, Aston Villa 2, Brentford 1. Manchester United versus Fulham. Oh, they'll be buzzing, man, from that win against Arsenal. And 2 big games, Arsenal, Man City, they won both. So you'd expect them to go into this game. They're at home now, They're at home, so they would play better, just like they did against Man City. You would expect them to win this one and win it comfortably. If they don't win this one, then everyone will be like, so what was the point of winning those 2 games when you can't win this? So I think they will. Fulham, on the other hand, they've got, like I said, they've got all their African players back from AFCON, and one of them, Chukwueze, scored last game. I'm not sure if he'll be able to play this one because of some private issues, but I'm hoping that he will be able to play and help his team. But I still see Man United winning this one, and I'm going to go for Man United to beat Fulham 3-1. Nottingham Forest versus Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, they need to get their acts together. They've dropped so many points. They were well at the top. Now they're dropping like flies, on the table. So I see them going to Nottingham Forest and, you know, getting a surprise win. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I see them getting a surprise win at Forest. Forest might just be caught off guard and they'd lose the game. So I see Crystal Palace going to Forest and beating them 2-1 away from home. And the big one for the weekend, well, the biggest one this weekend, some might argue, Tottenham versus Manchester City. Tottenham, big game at the in the Champions League where they qualified, made the top 8. Same goes for Man City. They also made the top 8. So both teams will be buzzing from their wins. And I see this game going till the end, till the death. In fact, it's difficult to call who is going to win. So because of that, I am going to sit on the fence as well for this one. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. A 2-2 draw in this one. Sunderland versus Burnley. Sunderland versus Burnley. Both teams who have just come up to the Premier League facing each other again. Last time I remember Burnley getting the better of Sunderland at their ground. But this time I think Sunderland would reply, reciprocate, revenge, whatever you want to call it. So I see Sunderland getting that win that they need to, move them up the table. They've been dropping lately, but I see them getting the win they need in this game to move up the table. And I'm going to go for Sunderland to beat Burnley 3-1. Yep. So, what are your predictions? Do you think Tottenham can beat City? Do you think Man United can carry on their good streak? Do you think Arsenal can go away to Leeds and win? Let us know in the comment section, guys. And I will see you in the next video. Bye for now. Don't check this.